Hello and welcome back to Minecraft Hardcore Forever with SRJ26. I've got a demo, a redstone thing for you today. Let's say you've got a block, let's say this one right here, and you want that block to be able to switch from that block to another block. Or maybe this one down here. And you want it to go from, say, being this cracked stone brick to being red wool for some purpose. How would you do it? Well, let me show you my first example of how one could do that. That is a sticky piston. And let's say block number 1 is going to be wood, and it's going to go right there. So we're going to have block number 2 be, let's be that wood. Okay, so you're going to have this space right here, which would represent this space right there, be replaced by either this block or this block. Okay, so it seems pretty simple so far, I hope. So let's take our redstone, and now when we switch this, that block goes up, right? But you want to have the other one be the opposite. Okay, so double clicking. All right. There we go. So what we want to do is we want to have this other piston get inverted, which have an opposite signal, right? So we're going to have that signal come up to here, and I've got to build up a little method by which I can have this block right here powered. So let's say it's going to be like that. Okay, so that's powering this. It's going over here. Nope, that's wrong. It's got a point at it. There we go. Okay, very good. Now we have the upper piston is now powered, and if I switch this, they will reverse, which means that the upper piston will pull back and the lower piston will push. Now what does that look like? Well, that's what happens. This piston pulled back, but it was unable to pull this back with it because it was being pushed up by the other piston. So basically it is impossible, right? It's not something that can be done. And now when I retract it again, it pulls back this one, but it doesn't pull back that one. So how do we deal with this problem? Well, I've got a solution. And it's kind of cool, actually. And it's not incredibly simple. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take a redstone repeater. I'm going to put it right there. We take another redstone repeater, or actually two, and we're going to put them right there. We're going to have that second set of repeaters power that block. That block will have a sticky piston on top of it. That sticky piston will have a block on it. Now, where am I going with this, you might ask, with very good reason. Well, we are going to pinch a circuit. So you see that block is going to get pushed right here, and that block is going to pinch this circuit. And what's going to happen is, actually, let me test my theory before I get too confident in the fact that it's going to work. Well, I think it should. Okay, so we want to pull back that brown block and push up the other wooden block. So, in theory, this one is on a delay, this one is on a double delay, and this one is not on a delay at all, except that the circuit is being pinched, so that in theory, when we fire now, that will retract before this one pushes, because right now the circuit isn't pinched, as you can see. And we'll test that theory. So can you see it up there in the corner of the screen? Boom. So it pulled back and it pushed because the circuit wasn't being pinched. So this one activated first, and then this one. Now we want this lower piston to activate first, and then the upper piston to activate. How do we make sure that happens? Because we have a delay on this center piston that's going to pinch the circuit. So this delay is going to force this one to activate second. So let me try it again here. Alright, can you see it up in the corner there? Right, let me get better. Okay, can you see it up in the corner? Boom. I'm just going to hit it a couple times. So they're happily taking turns. If that seems really complicated, well, it is. It took me a while. Every time I do this, it takes me a while to remember again how I set it up. Now, what is the practical application for this? Well, you could have a quest where you tell the players to follow the red path, and then as they go through, they hit a switch or open a door or do something, and then a trigger will send a I thought I heard a hiss. A trigger will send a signal to switch all the markers. So all of a sudden the red path isn't the red path anymore. The red path is now the blue path. So you can do all kinds of neat things. I'm going to show you one example over here in my handy dandy mob grinder, which actually seems to be working. I don't even need to kill these guys, but I wonder what's way back there. I can't see very well. Let's throw a switch. Oh, look at that. So those blocks down there were actually switched out. And I'm going to try to throw the switch and watch so you can see. Just look over in the corner there. Oh. There we go. Okay. And then again. Now, why did I bother doing this? Well, I could have easily had a piston interrupt. I'm going to just pop that, and that's a temporary thing I've got in place that will let creepers explode. That will let experience orbs flow over to me. Let me just kill this guy. Let me make sure I'm not being snuck up on. So the benefit, well, what I could have done is I could have had a lava flow be interrupted by a piston, thereby having controllable lighting, but it takes forever for lava to flow or to stop flowing. And I could have just had redstone lamps. But I started building this because it's how I used to do it, and because it's an intellect, and it's a mental gymnastics. It's a challenge to figure out how to do it each time. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to show you the inner workings. This is basically just the same thing I showed you before. I'm going to actually block myself in here just for safety. Okay, so it's the same thing. Your signal comes over here and it's flipped. This one is the short circuit, the middle one, and this is the pincher, and this is the reversed charge, the reverse charge going that way. So, and you can go back and pause the video and take a look at what I was doing. And you can see here my corridor has, well, I can't see very well, but that corridor has the lower pistons being activated by the wire activating all of these blocks, so the ones that push up from the floor, and then this wire up here goes across, and believe it or not, is actually activating that piston right there. And I had to time every delay here, every repeater, all the way along, so that it would be on the same delay, so each one would go at the same time. Because if I screwed up the timing, then it would malfunction. It wouldn't actually push in the sequence where it would be required to operate. So, I gotta find a better way to get out of here, but in theory I shouldn't need to come in here very often. Yeah, so I promised you that I would trick out this base with redstone, and I hope I am doing you proud. That took less time than I thought. So I'm just gonna do it one more time because I love watching stuff like this work. And this actually does work to get mobs spawning, not at any great rate. It's not a real solution, but it's more just of a fun little thing to throw in here. It does work for Enderman. If there's an Enderman down there, I can sort of get its attention and it'll walk right up here and I can whack it to death. And this, of course, lets me get the stuff. And I have the doors over there, so I can actually get in there onto the floor if I want to. Now, with maybe a couple minutes left, let me go and show you the next big thing, which I will be working on, not during this episode, but soon. I will go up top first, because I got something I discovered that I'm going to show ya. And it is this way. That's a slime you hear. All those sticky pistons were from slimes, because when you open up places like this, let me get up this. Come on, it's not that hard. There we go. When you open up a place like this, you wind up getting slimes, because you invariably open up areas that slime chunks can be in. A slime chunk is a chunk of the map where slimes are able to form. There's an algorithm that controls all that. And look what I found. I've got myself a skelly spawner, which makes me very happy. In fact, I'm going to crack open these right now so you guys can see what good stuff I found. I may have to ride a pig at some point. I've thought about trying to get all the achievements, and I haven't seriously tried it yet, but I probably should. Okay, so what's my plan for this skelly spawner? These 4 torches correspond. Well, actually, I'll just show you, because I can. I might fall to my death, but that would be exciting, and that's not the point of this video, but it's something that could happen. I do want to harvest all this wonderful mossy cobble. Oh, you're not supposed to be spawning, you little bad word person. Okay, I almost used a bad word. Alrighty, let's put some torches down, because I don't want to be surprised by anything. Okay, let's do this again. So, where are we going to end up? I'm going to just dig down, and we will see how far we go. I did some experiments offline to see if mobs will still walk out over where a sign is, which is how old mob grinders used to be built. And they... oh, I'm going too fast. And they do not walk out over where signs are placed anymore. And that's not good. It means that I've got to figure out a different way to force mobs to fall down into a... whoa. You're not wanted. I've got to find a different way to make mobs spawn. Mobs spawn and fall down into this. And this is something that I was building. And it is an area that is going to hold a drowning pit. So it'll be a 2x2 open glass lined thing that mobs will fall into and drown. Unless that's been changed, which would stink. But I'm assuming right now that has not been changed. So yeah, exciting stuff going on. I'm not going to film the whole creation of this, but you've got the concept now. I'm going to find a way, using redstone I expect, to get mobs to fall down here. They will fall down here into a thing of water. They will drown. Their stuff will flow out. Those signs will serve a purpose that I'll show you next episode. And the good stuff will flow out here, be picked up here. And if this looks familiar, this is my storage room turned into a mine shaft base, where all my mine shafts go out from. So, this has been SRJ26. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope I showed you some cool stuff. And if you can find a way to use the nifty stuff I showed you with the switches and the pistons and all that, definitely leave a comment and tell me about it. I love trying to give you guys new ideas and cool things you can do. I like it. And yeah, I know I could just use redstone lamps, but I like it anyway. So sometimes more complex things are fun for their own purpose. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.